Welcome to the 2025 NFL Mock Draft, brought to you by NFL Uncovered on the Uncovered_NFL network on YouTube. And go follow us on Twitter as well. But fellas, we're about to jump right into it. All right, we've got a mock draft. Chev at Chev90 is our resident Titans guy. So he's going to start this thing off for us. So we're going to do 2 rounds and pick for every single team. We've been using CBSSports.com list of team needs. So we'll use that as we kind of jump through all of these teams here. So with that, Chev, you're on the clock. We're not doing trades in this one. And we've got the NFL Combine coming up here next weekend. So still some more information to come out. But Chev, how you feeling with this first pick?
It is with great pain and consternation that I have to pivot from my stance of Travis Hunter no matter what today. I watched Cam Ward threaten that I would regret it forever if I didn't draft him in this mock draft today. I mean, you can go look it up. It's all over the internet. And so I'm going to live in that fear, and I'm going to take Travis Hunter anyway.
Okay, way to fake me out there. All right. Yeah, I saw that, and also saw that clip of him and Shedeur Sanders. I mean, he's talking a lot of trash to Sanders too, man. So
yeah, no, I listen. I love
lot.
Cam Ward. He's a dog. He's an absolute dog. I think he's going to be great at the next level. But it's I just can't pass on Travis Hunter. Like I believe that is something that we have not seen before and will not see for a long time.
All right. So with the next pick, the Cleveland Browns. A lot of needs here. Addison, how you feeling, my man?
Oh, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better after Chev pulled that curveball. I thought I wasn't going to get to pick Cam Ward here. I love that video of him chopping up with Shedeur. Like, he had some zip on the ball. They aren't gonna miss this opportunity to take a QB. They're taking Cam Ward here, and it's the right pick. I thought about edge rusher a little bit. Abdul Carter's a great pick there. Myles Garrett and all that situation still going on, but you don't pass up quarterback when he drops to you too.
Yeah, guys. I mean, Travis Hunter, great grades as a cornerback and wide receiver. You know, I understand what Chev's thinking there. Chev's in like a mock for all 32 teams with just 32 analysts, and folks are even questioning going Travis Hunter there. But, you know, it's just one of those things where if you believe in a talent, you just got to go with it. But I totally understand with the Browns, just get a quarterback. I mean, they've drafted more quarterbacks than like anybody, but you got to keep trying to get that answer. And it's just one of those things where, like with the Ravens, who can barely ever get a free agent wide receiver, well, the Browns could barely get a free agent quarterback. They had to make the worst trade in NFL history to make that happen. So how about you just do it the old-fashioned way? Get a guy in Cam Ward who can, build from the ground up this new era for the Cleveland Browns. I love that, man. And so I'm on the clock here with the New York Giants. I'm going to go quarterback as well. I'm going to go Shedeur Sanders. Not going to let him slide in this mock. And I like I like the talent. I like the comfortability in the pocket. I like his ability to win some of those close games down the stretch. I think he's got some good intangibles. He's not afraid of the moment. And this is a team where their best player currently, Malik Neighbors, all he's been saying in the offseason in multiple interviews is he wants the quarterback. And not only does he want a quarterback, he wants his quarterback to also have, maybe a veteran behind him. So I think he definitely wants a rookie quarterback, but he was saying he doesn't want it to be all put on their shoulders. So let Shedeur Sanders get comfortable year one, grow with Malik Neighbors. And I think for Shedeur, having Malik Neighbors is amazing. So that can just help his floor in and of itself.
Yes.
All right, Dave, how you feeling with the Patriots at the 4th spot here?
What's up, man? Good to be hanging out with you guys. My first mock with y'all. I've done so many with Alex. I've seen a lot of feedback from the Patriots. They're not going to like a Will Campbell pick here. But Will Campbell is probably, let me tell you, you need to take a tackle. Hold on, before you go, Alex. You need to take a tackle early, because if you have to develop one when you're in your window, you're in a bad position. However, you've got Abdul Carter on the board here. And if this is my pick and the Patriots need an edge as one of their top 5 needs, I'm taking Abdul Carter. Let's see the Patriots hate on that one.
All right.
Abdul Carter is obviously, some analysis quickly. He's a nasty, freaky edge rush player. You only get about 2 of these a draft that are ready to play right now. In my opinion, he is ready to play right now. There are a lot of guys with traits in this draft that you can draft a little later in the 1st and the 2nd and 3rd, and even a little bit later than that. But if you want a guy to lead your defense in this charge of rebuild, Abdul Carter is that in spades. Also, it's going to inspire a lot in this defense. When you have a guy like that, as Cowboys know, we brought in Micah Parsons. When you have a young, fast, new, bendy edge rusher that can also maybe play some off ball a little bit if needed. I mean, this guy could probably do anything out there in that regard. I'm taking Abdul Carter.
All right, stopping the slide. Okay.
That's a
Division
great
rival
point about
Jag.
Abdul Carter. Yeah, I shouldn't be qualified. I shouldn't be qualified to make this pick as somebody. They're in my division. I'm going to give them, I don't like giving them good players. It makes me real sad.
I know, right? Isn't that the one you don't want him to take? Like,
Yeah.
when you're sitting there looking at your opposition and you're like, just don't take this freaky ass pass
so
rusher.
so give them the guy that you, at least want them to have.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Let's be fair here. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to give them Mason Graham, D lineman. Yeah.
That's the end of the Titans as we know it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think Mason Graham is I think Mason Graham is a freak, and just what he put on tape this year from a pass rush perspective, but just from hey, I'm bigger, stronger, and faster than you. There's nothing you're going to be able to do to stop me from doing what I want to do. I think he's going to come in and wreck shop. He and Eric Armstead combined with Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines Allen. Like that's a terrifying D line. And I mean, whatever stopgap quarterback, hopefully, if we don't get Cam Ward, we figure out something that's not named Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. So yeah, that's gonna be fun to deal with for the next 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, man. I cannot wait to see how this draft shakes out. I mean, we got free agency before then, so that's gonna kind of give a big hint the direction some of these teams at the top are gonna go. With the Raiders, though, now the quarterback's waiting off the board here. It's gonna get a little bit tougher. So how you feeling?
Oh, I was fully expecting Sanders to be available here. So I, much like the Raiders, will be scrambling. They got a lot of team needs. I don't want to be taking D-line. They already got Wilkins. They already got Crosby. They got Tyree Wilson a couple of years back. They have enough talent there. They shouldn't be stocking up. It feels early to go GT, right? Like, I want to press the button. He's that good. But you can still scrap together an offense with Sincere and Zamir White. I think he is a difference maker in that, but their wide receiver room is so bad. You got Jacoby Myers there, Trey Tucker, and DJ Turner as your top 3 on the depth chart. I think you got to go Ted.
All right, Ted McMillan out of Arizona. I like it, and not a ton of size in this draft class.
Nobody's falling today, boys. Nobody's falling today.
Yeah. All right, so I'm on the clock here with the Jets. Genty, I've seen get mocked to the Jets to kill some Breece Hall love. That's another
buddy.
That
would be mortifying.
Yeah, don't do that.
For the Jets, we don't know the quarterback situation there either. This is a team that has to just go best player available, and I think they've done a great job at that. It wasn't too long ago where they had both the offensive and defensive rookie of the year in the same season. So I trust this front office, but the coach is a defensive-minded guy. So I'm just, I just don't see them necessarily reaching on a guy, maybe a Will Johnson, but I don't know. I think I would rather go with a big fella here and Will Campbell to shore up that line. It's never a bad idea to just get a lineman that you could trust here. Will Campbell, like what he's been able to do for LSU, so gonna lock in a tackle for these guys.
Nice. I mean, that gives them two really high picks at the tackle positions. They took Olu Fashanu out of Penn State last year, and now they're taking Will Campbell. So if they do bring in a stopgap quarterback, at least we'll have the bookends protected along with Elijah Vera Tucker at guard. So, I mean, they're shoring up that offensive line, and hopefully they can, we can get a resurgence from Breece Hall. Like, I love that pick there.
Yeah, you can do a lot with to help a lot of areas. And, year one with Rodgers, it was the injury because he was getting blown up. No one's getting protected out there. So, right. Dave, at the 8th spot for the Carolina Panthers, what are we doing there? How do we get the Panthers to the Super Bowl?
Man, we can't take another quarterback named Cam. I got to get some shout-out. I should get a Cam Newton Superman tattoo all over my chest just because of a fantasy run I had with Cam Newton that year. Me and him, we bonded through fantasy. So I'm going to think long and hard about this one. I forgot I was doing the Panthers. But if it were me in this position, I'm going to go Jahdae Barron. I think they've got team needs, top 5 team needs for them. Should list the cornerback and safety. and linebacker. I think you get a guy like Jahdae Barron into that defense. You're going to be able to put him in any of those positions at any given time. Not that he's going to excel as a linebacker, but I think he's a guy who can play down. He can play on the outside. He can play on the inside. He can play at the back of your defense. If team needs are there and Abdul Carter has not dropped to this Panthers pick, I'm going to take another guy at the back end of your defense, and Jahdae Barron.
Sweet. All right, let's keep it rolling then. Chev, staying in that same division, the Saints, with the new head coach and Kellen Moore. Who are they going to take here? This is a guy known for high-scoring offenses.
The high-scoring offense. Yeah, the high-scoring offense. I think, though, with them potentially losing Paulson Adebo, they lost Marshawn Lattimore. I think that they're going to go with. I think they're going to go with someone to kind of help fill that void, and I think it's going to end up being either Malachi Starks or Will Johnson. And I'm gonna go Will Johnson. Will Johnson is one of the most physical, one of the most toolsy corners in the draft, and he kind of is the 1-for-1 replacement. He would be the 1-for-1 replacement for Marshawn Lattimore. I think he has that type of upside. So I'm gonna go Will Johnson here.
Boom. Will Johnson, nice. I had a feeling that's where you're going. All right, man. Let's see. Okay, so Addison, the Bears, this is your pick. You're in Chicago in -5-degree weather right now. So your finger's probably frozen off waiting for this pick. Who are you going to take for the Bears?
Yeah. When you're in that weather, you normally need a pretty strong running game. And there is the best running back that we've seen in quite a while on the board here. But the Bears have this issue, and you'll see this a lot at Soldier Field. Players are slipping all the time. And when you have that sort of situation where your O-line is falling over itself constantly, you need guys that can play multiple positions. And there's a tackle on the board that can play guard, that can move inside, that was essentially helping carry that Texas team to a fantastic offensive run. And the pick here is Banks Jr., because the Bears need that O-line. Protect Caleb. Please help my man.
Let's go.
Protect Caleb at all costs, baby. I love it.
All right. Yeah, we've done a film breakdown on Kelvin Banks Jr. on this network. Love the player. And, it's gotten better every season, so I love the pick. We'll keep it rolling. And also, for y'all's quarterback, Caleb Williams, I believe most sack quarterback in the league, something like that. The sacks were up there, so makes sense, total sense. I love the pick. And
68 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
The record is 76. So. That's not good for those of you who are listening.
Oh, and I didn't hit the pick. Okay, that would have been insane. All right, so here we go. San Francisco 49ers. Things kind of falling apart. We were talking about them off air with the wide receiver situation. I trust this coaching staff to get them back in that playoff mix. I think they making sure they make good picks, right? So, I love their defense. I'm just trying to think, what is the best way to give them a boost and get them over the edge. And, it was kind of, they're having issues on both sides of the ball. But, with Deebo Samuel leaving, I'm definitely interested in potentially going with the skill position here. But I don't know, man. I think these guys are kind of known for having some of these awesome defensive linemen here. I don't know. I think I'm just going to go with the pick I like here because I know they're going to pay Josh Purdy. I'm going to go with Josh Simmons here. I think they need some help on the line. Some of those guys are getting a little bit older. And I know he's coming off an injury, but I think he's still a talent at the tackle position. So you got to get these guys while you can. And you're going to be paying Purdy basically top paid player in the NFL type money here. So make sure you protect that investment. We're going with Josh Simmons for the San Francisco 49ers. Dave, who you got?
All right, so Cowboys are on the clock. I'm going Ashton Genty. I'll talk a little bit about it. This is a very popular pick, obviously.
I saved it for you.
But it's not without warrant. Okay, so you look at how the Cowboys put this coaching staff together. You got Clayton Adams from Arizona. You look at what he's done with Arizona's offensive line and the running game. Now, they do have Kyler Murray, but you put that aside. They have one first overall offensive lineman on that line last year. They have some free agents, some other guys. So what I'm saying is Clayton Adams does not need a bunch of first-round talents to produce an above-average running game. And when you put a guy like Genty behind a line that has done okay at times, Rico had a 4.6 average over the whole season. So you have guys like Rico can go in at 4.6 behind this line, what can Genty do behind this line? 151 missed tackles forced last year. Second was Cam Scadaboo with 102. This running game has a lot of wide open space. If you watch James Conner's highlights from last year, which is a good exercise if you wanted to understand what Clayton Adams is going to bring to the Cowboys offense, you see a lot of pulling, a lot of double pulls, a lot of wide open holes. Now, it doesn't necessarily lead to a bunch of 20, 30-yard runs, but what you get is an easy 5, an easy 6, an easy 4, and a guy like Genty can take those easy 4, 5, 6s and turn them into touchdowns potentially. So not to sell him short on his pass catching ability as well. I think that's going to be a big part of this offense if they get a guy like Genty. So again, look at what they did with James Conner, Clayton Adams, and he's now the architect. Schott's in charge of calling the plays, but they released a couple interviews today, some of the first interviews that Clayton Adams, he hyped up how they're going to be working together, basically using his backbone for their running game. So I'm excited to say we're taking Genty. There are a bunch of other mocks where we can trade down. I do really like that possibility, but in a situation where we don't, let's take Genty.
Awesome. And that's our third homer pick. We've got Cowboys, Bears, and Titans represented on this podcast. And hey, if anyone listening has a team that they want to represent, let us know. We're looking for other teams to get covered as well on the Uncovered Network for the 2025 season. And with that, we're going to roll into the 13th pick with the Miami Dolphins, led by Tua and the boys. So how we feeling, Chev? What you going to do for Miami here?
I've done a bunch of different things here. I mean, there's just so much talent on the board. The first mock draft, I believe I went with Walter Nolan, the interior defensive lineman, the only guy ranked above Travis Hunter in their recruiting class, if I'm not mistaken. And then in the second one, I think I went with an offensive lineman. Can't remember who though. So this time I'm gonna address some of their needs in the secondary. I'm going to go best player available on the board. I'm going to go with Malachi Starks, safety from Georgia.
There we go. All right. Let's lock it in. And next on the clock, we've got the Colts. So, Addison, what you got for us?
Hey, speaking of teams with a lot of holes, the Colts, their O-line looked good going into last season, but really didn't put up much. And I'm inclined to look at the offensive linemen, but we're seeing a bit of a drop-off in talent. And when you have that many holes on your team, I feel like you got to go with a player that really buoys your offense a bit. Their run game kind of faltered at times, and I think they got basically nothing from the tight end position all year with Mo Alley-Cox, Kyle Granson, Jelani Woods didn't even play. I think you stop the skid on Tyler Warren here and put a great blocking and pass-catching tight end on that roster. Hopefully give Anthony Richardson another large-bodied player to throw the ball to. You need somebody that's large-bodied. Otherwise, they aren't going to be able to catch a ball about 3 yards away from them.
Boom. Tyler Warren is now an Indianapolis Colt. This is totally up their alley. They love these huge tight ends that can do a bunch of things, especially guys that they think have some crazy upside. And I think he actually will live up to that billing. So with the 15th pick here, I got the Atlanta Falcons. I think this might be the first time I've picked for them. And this is a team that multiple seasons in a row has gone offensive skill position. I just don't see them doing that again here. They do have needs, but I think I would rather wait on another offensive skill position here for these guys. So I'm going to go with between Mike Green, Kenneth Grant. I like the we have been taking Mike Green a lot after the Senior Bowl just from his big game. So trying to wait a little bit to take him again. We've done some film breakdown of James Pierce Jr. like him, but I'm going to go Mike Green for the Atlanta Falcons. Get another guy here that will help them really just in that division, slow down some of these other offenses in these close games that they have. I think with what they have on offense between Drake London and Bijan, I think they can figure it out in year 2 with Michael Penix Jr. So on defense, that's really all they got to worry about, in my opinion. All right, so Cardinals. Dave, how you feeling?
All right, I'm good. I did line up that I'm taking the Cardinals, so I've been thinking about it. First of all, this is an old rivalry from the NFC East. No love lost. They got to enjoy the last fumes of Emmitt Smith. It is what it is. So for the Cardinals, they have some needs up front on defense. And I think there's no better guy, in my opinion. He's seen a little bit of rise. I don't know if the PFF will show that. My guy James Pierce here is my pick. From my personal observations of James Pierce, obviously PFF has him as the 9th overall player, second edge. I'm not sure if they have done an update. But in any case, bigger than I thought he was on tape. Watching a lot of his highlights, he actually has this incredible length. I can't wait to see how he kind of measures up lengthwise with some of the other guys with his reach. But he's also scrappy, and what it provides is a real proactive hand fight approach to hitting these linemen, and pair that with incredible speed, very smooth bend. He gets to the ball carrier in stride, and it feels like he's just so much quicker to take 2 strides than you think. This is the kind of thing that if you look back at like a guy like Michael Parsons, one of the things that stuck out was his ability to close so quickly. It's like running with your hair on fire kind of effect. Crazy speed, great get off, uses his length to close. So I'm going to take James Pearson. I'm not going to feel bad about it. I think this would be a good fit for them.
All right, we're now in the second half of the draft. Bengals pick 16. What do they do here? They just recently gave kind of the rumors are out. These T Higgins getting a franchise tag. We'll see what ends up ultimately happening, trade or not. So they're showing here wide receiver on the board. How are you feeling though, Chev? What are you thinking about? It might help these guys make the playoffs. And keep in mind, every year the Bengals have had a slow start. Losing starting a lot of 0-3 seasons, but they find a way later. What's going to help them get off to a good start and just get that one extra game to get into the playoffs?
I mean, I think that them losing DJ Reader and basically the interior of their defense, I think that's played a role in the way that they played run defense early in the season. Now, whatever magic they pulled out of the hat to play really well against Pittsburgh in week 17 or 18, that is what it is. But I think that they need to shore up like the interior defensive line. So I've got to stop the slide for my guy Kenneth Grant right here. He's 340 pounds. I mentioned it on the last pod where we did the mock draft, where he chased down Katron Allen from behind. This is one of the freakiest athletes in the draft, in my opinion, and I would love to put him on the Bengals to start to try to shore up that run defense and get them off to at least a better start where they're not having to score 40 points every game to win.
You didn't fall for the bait. They don't need more offense. Even if Higgins left, like you got Chase and you can and the other Chase. You got
Chase, you got Chase Brown, you got whatever they decide to do with tight end. Now last time I took so Addy robbed me because I wanted to take Tyler Warren. I wanted Tyler Warren to slide there.
Oh, yeah.
And that just So Addy robbed me though, so we got to go defense here, and I think that's the pick is going to be Kenneth Grant.
All right, Addy, back to you.
All right. So I remember last episode y'all were talking about that Seattle game, low scoring one in the NFL last week. Just figured I'd inform you guys. My Chicago Bears were the other side of that game.
Oh, brutal.
Yeah. Just giving some context to that. But since we're on Seattle, I agree. I think their defense is fine. I don't think that's the issue. I think they need to give Geno time. Like you guys hit it on the nail on the head last time.
That was my pick. Nice.
Yeah. And I'm going to go with Josh Connerly here.
Hey,
he's right near that Seattle area. Like, really polished prospect. He's going to come in. He can take over for Cross and hopefully buoy that offense and give him a chance to really show JSN's potential, show Kenneth Walker's potential, turn Charbonnet into a consistent fantasy asset. I'm believing here.
I love it. And shout out to one of our network host Grindberg. He just put out a show about the 3 best fits for the Chiefs at pick 31, and he was hoping Josh Connerly would fall to them, but sorry, my guy,
not today, buddy.
Not today.
It's tough when it's a good problem when no one falls to you at 31. All right, so here we are, the Bucks. So that's me here, and I really like what the Bucks are doing. You have that Brady era, and you think there's going to be a drop off. No, they just keep rolling. They're in the playoffs. They're in control of their division. I think 3 years in a row. They really, I think with maybe Godwin leaving or whatever it might be, like, yeah, sure, there's some things you can do on offense, but I felt like their offense was fine, actually. I like Jalen McMillan and his ability to potentially step into that role. So I'm probably going to be leaning defense here. CBS Sports, they've got Tampa Bay having needs a wide receiver, edge, guard, linebacker. And it's still a mystery if they do end up keeping Godwin. But for me here, I'm going to assume they find at least some other wide receiver 3 and let McMillan jump into that wide receiver 2 role, and then get that final year out of Mike Evans so he can break the reception, or excuse me, the 1,000-yard receiving record. I think by Jerry Rice he's currently tied with. So I'm gonna go with Walter Nolan here on the interior and lock in some more defensive help for this team that was in the Super Bowl not too long ago. And I felt like that Super Bowl team really had an awesome defense. They've hit on some good linemen for offense, but for defense, let's shore this up and get back into the playoffs, make some noise. Okay, so this is Dave here with the Denver Broncos, pick 20. I was just listening to an interview, Sean Payton, K. Adams. He was talking about he wants a Joker-type player. Now, I'm not really trying to influence you there, but I have a feeling they want Tyler Warren desperately, but he's gone. So what are you going to do here, Dave?
Well, I want to also first say that Ole Miss pick. Ole Miss is an underrated team to play with on College Football 25. You get a sweet uniforms. You got a bunch of good players across the board. Don't sleep on them. Love those unis. But I'm going to stick to my board. My board isn't extensive as a lot of these other people's is right now. But for me right now, if wide receivers in need, I'm taking Emeka Egbuka. There's a lot of mocks where Denver might be moving up to try to get Genty. I think that's a media play. I don't really think that's going to happen. It's possible someone trades up for Genty, but I think the Cowboys would hold this team like this hostage to make that kind of a move. So if you're staying stuck here, Emeka Egbuka, here's what I've got on this guy. Strong at the top of the route, great strider. So when he's running, it looks like he's covering a lot of ground quickly without having to kind of get up in his giddy up. His first stride seems full speed. Great concentration of body control, gets wide open in zone schemes, able to sit in his spot incredibly well. His eyes tracking the ball. It seems like he picks up the ball earlier than anybody else. If you look at his tape of when he's kind of receiving his over-the-shoulder catches and continuously showing that elite ball tracking while also having incredible body control to get to a good position to catch the ball. So if you look at a guy like Bo Nix and how he's going to be running the offense and his ability to play off script, I think Emeka Egbuka would be a great partner there. Now, Luther Burden was obviously a consideration here, but in my opinion, I've got Emeka Egbuka just a little bit higher than Burden, and so I'll take him.
Yeah, to me, that's stopping the slide. I like it. I like the pick. We've seen in many drafts a run of receivers go in the 20 range. I know JSN went at pick 20, his former college teammate in his draft, and it was 3 receivers that went back to back to back after him. So here at 21, Chev, who are you going to take? But first, I want to say, guys, if you made it this far in the video, go ahead and put happy birthday in the chat. Today's my birthday, so appreciate you guys for watching. And Dave, you had mentioned these uniforms. Oh, yeah, they're pretty sick. This is the thumbnail of the episode. Indeed. And y'all know who the guy on the right is. So, yeah, let's get it. All right,
that.
so
happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, man, appreciate it.
You be that.
All right, what you got for us, Chef?
Oh man, so that was one of my favorite picks that I. Oh yeah, you threw me for.
I'm gonna be doing that. I'm sorry, Chev. You don't know me yet, but I'm gonna be doing that.
That's fine. That's fine. You thought darkness was your ally, huh? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is the guy that Daniel Jeremiah in his mock 1.0 mock to the Steelers. I'm gonna roll with that, and I'm gonna go with Matthew Golden.
Yeah, here we go.
So
Matthew Golden out of Texas.
Yeah, Matthew Golden, a breakout season this year. That's your boy. You watched him quite a bit. I mean, he's got the incredible long speed. He's great at the catch point. I mean, he excels and decels great at the top of his routes and out of breaks. And I think that this is one of the guys that's going to be – he has the potential. Him and Luther Burden both have the potential to be way better in the pros than they were in college because they're going to be – hopefully they get more consistent quarterback play. Shout out to Quinn Ewers. And I think that this is going to be a smash pick. The Steelers are going to do it again. They always hit on receiver, and I think this is the guy that they're going to go with.
There we go. Yeah, I was cutting up short for you on Matthew Golden as well. Y'all will see that here pretty soon.
I want to jump in low key. I think Golden. I think he's actually. I made a prediction a few weeks ago that I think Golden's going to have the best pro career out of this wide receiver group.
Really?
I don't think that he's got the best profile, but I just think he's got the #1 clutch gene. From these wide receivers. I just think every time Texas asked him to make a big 3rd and 14 or a 3rd and 26 because of penalties and getting sacked and things like that happened to Quinn Ewers, Golden was the guy they picked. And as the season went on, the last half of the season, he was their guy on third down, their guy moving the sticks. And I just think that shows a lot of maturity for the guy. He's got great skills. And I think it's possible. It was kind of a make your call kind of a post, but I was like, I think it's very possible he has the best pro career of this wide receiver class.
I love that, man. So let me pause, everybody. How are we feeling about this receiver class this year in general? Like right now, we've got Chet, Mekabuka, Matthew Golden. We can count Travis Hunter at the first spot if you want to, but we know he's going in as a cornerback at least officially. But Luther Burden's still here on the board, ranked as the 8th player. I've seen him slide in a lot of different mocks, but it's not just about Luther Burden. I'm just curious in general. How do you guys feel about this class of wide receivers? Are we feeling good, or is it just any superstars, or is it mainly role player type guys? How you feeling?
Man, there's always value to be had. I feel like when people devalue a class because the class prior to them was so incredible. So this class has been touted as the running back class. I think it's a great running back class personally, but I think that there's some really talented receivers. Now, is there a Malik Neighbors type of talent in this class? No, but I think that there's guys who are going to be absolute studs for a very long time. Just like David pointed out, like there's gonna be guys like Matthew Golden that pop up and it's like, oh man, that guy had 1,200 yards receiving last year. Like, what? And then Luther Burden could pop out, and if he lands in the right situation, he's just, how did he fall to the back end of the first round? I mean, 5-star recruit, comes out, has 1,200 yards his junior year. So I think that there's a lot. And then, I mean, we're not even talking about Tet at the top end. Like, he's been compared to Mike Evans and Drake London and every single big receiver, and he's got a toolbox that is nearly unlimited. So, like, I think that this class is undervalued from the receiver position. And we didn't even talk about my boy Trey Harris, but we're not going to talk about Trey Harris because we don't talk about Bruno. So, yeah. What are you guys' thoughts?
I love this receiver class. Like, it's one of the deeper ones too. Like, you got into the big names there, but the board goes a lot lower than you'd figure. Like, you get to the Jaden Higgins, the Elik Ayo-Mayor, like Tez Johnson, Isaiah Bond back in that Texas uniform. Like, there are a lot of guys who will be playing in the NFL 5 years from now. And I think that gets overlooked because, like, at the end of this draft, we're going to see probably 10 to 15 receivers in that round 4 to 5 area that are going to be on opening day rosters as a number 1 or a number 2 on their team.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I think this class has some hidden gems, and we've had one of our previous guests on this NFL mock draft series. He was at the Senior Bowl, saw a lot of these guys up close in person, and he's saying they're for real. He's saying some of these guys are for real. And
shout out to you, Biggs.
Yeah, shout out to Biggs. We'll get you back on here another episode. Let me try to play this real quick short from Chev. Let's see if I can pull this off. All right, 1 sec.
We move on to Matthew Golden, who's not that same physical type of archetype, but he did some of the same stuff, and he's a tremendous route runner. He competes with the DBs and wins with the ball in the air. As soon as Isaiah Bond got hurt, they asked him to step up. It was a seamless transition. He puts up over 980 yards and 9 touchdowns this year. Going back to his days at Houston with Tank Dell, he's put it on tape consistently. And I love the consistency of a player like Matthew Golden. You saw that he's now getting first-round buzz. He's going to rise in this receiver class more than just about anybody else because he has that complete profile, and I think he's more athletic than people are giving him credit for.
Well said, Chev. Yeah. So let's keep it moving.
Let me put a button on that just real quick, just to wrap it back around to Matthew Golden again, to give him his flowers here, because the team, on a team of superstars, like Texas has an incredible roster, brought in guys all over the place. Started 3 new receivers this year. At the end of the season, like you mentioned, when Bond got injured, he earned the trust of the coaching staff to be put in these tough positions. And amongst a bunch of crazy good prospects, he was the guy chosen, and he was featured in the offense. And I think he showed out. And I think part of that is why he's getting a lot of that buzz. And I am a Longhorn fan. I hope he has a great career. But I think low-key, he's a very consistent player with that clutch gene. And that's the kind of guy that if he gets in the right system, will stick for 2 or 3 contracts as a great player.
All right. So Chev knows when I'm running a show, any Texas player just gets all the shine.
I did pick Jahdae Barron too. I feel pretty homer now looking back.
Yeah. All right. So I think that takes us back to Chev on the clock with the Chargers. Am I right?
Now, right here.
Okay. So let's get it.
All right. So I know Jim Harbaugh's a defensive guy, but their defense looked incredible last year. And they got J.K. Dobbins potentially walking out. I think he's going to look for more money. He seems like the type of player that's looking for that big contract. I mean, he should be. I think right here you got to go Marion Hampton. Like, this is a highly touted running back class. We oftentimes are drafting these running backs a little bit later than they actually go in the NFL draft. And I think that somebody with that level of consistency, a big back who can take that workload, step in directly for that J.K. Dobbins role, and supplement as a short yardage guy, is going to look great in the Chargers uniform.
Great pick. I swear we gave him to the Chargers one of these drafts.
We did.
It's just such a great pick. All right, here we go. Packers on the clock. Okay. I forgot what the order is, guys.
I think I'm Vikings, so
No.
that would mean I think.
All right, so I'm up.
So this is you. This is you,
All right,
Alex.
let's do it.
And then David's Vikings, and then I got Texans.
All right. So for the Packers, man, it seems to like I feel like I with the Josh Jacobs comments going Luther Burden here makes sense. The Packers are notorious for only taking second round wide receiver selections. So would they actually take a first round wide receiver here? I think if they have him higher on their board like a lot of teams do, then the answer is yes. And with the health concerns of a Christian Watson and Romeo Dubes, having some flare-ups in the locker room and getting suspended a game, I think you give it a shot with Luther Burden. Make sure that your QB's got all the weapons he needs to go out there and compete against some guys. So we're taking Luther Burden here and stopping the slide.
Love that. Now, the problem is we know good and well that the Packers will never take a first-round receiver. It's been since 2005 since they've done it. So
giving these guys some hope. But that's why I started. I'm like, yeah, this is not going to happen. All right, so Vikings.
All right, so
yeah,
I'm going to keep sticking to my board. There's a million mock drafts out there that I have done, so they're all over the place. I want to stick to my board with this mock draft. I'm not as familiar with all the teams across the league. Don't kill me in the comments. I'm sure no one will anyway. Maybe Alex will because he's funny like that. But I'm going to say I'm going to stick to my board. My board has me taking Scorton right here. Nick Scorton from A&M. I think this guy has gotten some flack for his negative plays, but if you focus on the positive plays, which you can kind of look at it either way, you want to know the full picture. But what the F is coaching for is you can't bring in a guy like Nick Scorton and make him a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro type guy. I'm going to go to my notes on Scorton. I should have done that first. Okay, so Big AF, Monster Man. Highlights are insane. So I didn't watch his entire pro tape, right? But it's he beats guys from the ground. So I've seen him on the ground beat a guy from the ground. So hard to redirect where he's moving. He knifes through on run D. He's so big and so like automatic on the tackles, like a magnet to bring these guys to the ground. He's launching from the line of scrimmage, ending up 3 or 4 yards in the backfield off of his launch, which I think is why he has some prospect hype. Now, he has some negative aspects to his game that maybe need to coach out of him. But again, if you're a coach in this league and a scout tells you this type of report on a prospect, you have to take it as a badge of pride to bring this guy in and make him what he can be. And I think that's the type of organization that you have in the NFL, let alone the Vikings specifically have brought in defensive linemen historically and had great success with them. So give me Nick Scorton. If people hate that pick, go watch the tape and say you don't like this guy as a prospect. Now, I mean, this is an exercise. We're having fun here, but I think you're going to be really happy with a guy like Scorton if half of his upside is reached.
All right, Vikings, you got a guy. And they got Coach of the Year, so I'm sure they can figure something out. You're talking about can they coach a guy up? They've got Coach of the Year in their building, so I think they could pull it off. So with the Texans, Chev, back in your division again. I don't know how we pulled this off. What are you going to do here?
All right, yeah, I'm going to take Gray Zabel here.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay,
I'm going to take
out of North Dakota State. We got Gray Zabel, big Senior Bowl riser. But Chev was on him first. You gotta go a few episodes back to see when he put him on.
Very first mock we did, I mocked him to the 49ers post Senior Bowl. Now that might seem crazy. And then a 49ers podcast did it like a couple days later. So I'm not crazy. I'm just early.
Yeah, no, you are. I swear I was hearing him everywhere. I was like, was he getting mentioned? And I just wasn't aware of the name. But like, I swear I hadn't heard him before you. So, man.
He's blowing up right now for sure, man. I'll back that.
So, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe. Chev, if you didn't know, he's Chev, a.k.a. the legendary ball knower.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Thank you. Thank you for recognizing me by my God-given title.
Boom. Locking him in. Gray Zeus Zabel. Okay, so the Rams. Okay, all right. What you got for us? I like the Rams. This is a kind of a fun team. So what's up, Addy? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Gray Zabel was definitely on my board. So much like the Rams, I think we see this a lot in the NFL where a run starts happening in a position group. And I think we're going to see one right here. The Rams are losing both the offensive tackles, Jackson and Noteboom in free agency, more than likely. Maybe they get one of them back, but they need somebody in that building. So I think I'm going to stop that skid on Membao and get him in the building. Keep Stafford upright. You guys see the rumors from Aaron Rodgers about wanting to go to the Rams if they drop off on Stafford?
Yeah.
Did you see
man.
the Stafford for a first-round pick rumor that got floated out there?
From
Oh,
the
really?
Giants? Yes. Oh my
That's
gosh.
what, that's
yeah.
what the Rams
Lord.
are asking apparently, and I'm
Yeah, someone who's at the
asking
end
for
of their
stuff all day. By the way, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
ever get it.
Some of these don't make any sense, man. But just like I said for the Jets, you got to protect Rodgers. That's why he was getting banged up. So if Rodgers does go to the Rams, this is a perfect pick. Get a tackle, somebody to protect whatever older geriatric quarterback that you might have back there. I like it. All right, here we go. On to the Baltimore Ravens, my number 2 favorite team. So I'm glad I got the pick here. I got a lot of family on Baltimore. Shout out to y'all. And
Murda.
and this is a team that loves getting a receiver in the first round. I'm not there for that in this moment. So I think for these guys, I'm gonna go Michael Williams, go to Georgia, and get these guys another edge out there. And yeah, just keep building on that strength on the defense. I think they got it pretty much figured out on offense with Lamar and Derrick Henry and whatever receivers they got going on out there with Zay Flowers. So let's do it, Ravens. Take that next step. Get to the Super Bowl.
I like that. I think that was a great identity pick because that makes a lot of sense. Again, what is coaching for? Michael Williams, a great toolsy guy. So actually, that's the guy I wanted to go with. That's why I had to say.
It was actually I was close to going Derek Carmen just because the board had him up here.
Yeah,
but
Derek Carmen's great
because Michael Ravens will always take like whoever's the best player available. They'll usually take them. They almost never miss. So but I'm good with the pick here.
So for this particular exercise, I want to stick with my parameters, which I'm using a CBS Sports free agency tracker to get team needs. Now, this is also giving me insight into what the cap space looks like per team and what they might lose. Now, anything could happen, but for the Detroit Lions, needs at edge, corner, and guard. In my opinion, with a team like the Lions, the identity is so baked in and it makes so much sense, and you know exactly what it is. I'm going to take Booker here. And I that might seem like a gluttonous pick to take another offensive lineman, but they're very, very likely losing Kevin Zeitler. This guy is a long-term player. He's into free agency this year. Probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them to take him, especially with a class like this where you're already sitting at the top of the league. You know you're going to be at kind of the bottom of the draft order. Take a guy that's top premium at his position. Tyler Booker is that in spades. This guy's an incredible prospect, and I think he obviously fits right in with the Lions.
Boom. Okay, so we're in here with all playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders in theory. With the Washington Commanders, Chev, do they go to the next round, make it to the Super Bowl or something like that? How you feeling? What do they need to take that next step with the young quarterback?
I mean, you've got to get some defensive support. And I can't believe this guy fell this far. I'm gonna go with Jalen Walker here. They need someone. So they've got Frankie Louvu, they've got Bobby Wagner. I think Bobby Wagner was on a very short-term deal, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll still have Frankie Louvu, who was an All-Pro this year. I think that getting a guy like Jalen Walker, I was torn between Jalen Walker and Jahad Campbell. I think that continuing to solidify that front seven. I mean, I gave up 7 rushing touchdowns to the Eagles in the conference championship and just got pummeled in general in the playoffs. I mean, Bucky Irving went off 19 for 83. Then, Jahmyr Gibbs had over 200 yards from scrimmage. And then Saquon hit him across the head for what he hit him for. And they gave up 7 rushing touchdowns, like I mentioned. So, yeah, let's go ahead and start shoring up that front. This guy has amazing versatility. And, he's going to be a day one starter and, tremendous against the run. So give me Jalen Walker right here.
All right. And then the final 3 picks here. So we're going in here with the Bills. What you got for us?
So I was pretty happy you brought up Jahad Campbell because the Bills need linebacker help. You saw them in that divisional round, get torn up by Isaiah Likely. They should have given up 2-point conversion to Mark Andrews if he didn't butter up his hands before that game. So you got to get a linebacker in there, shore up that defense. They'd love to get a receiver here, but there's no good value. It's not like they're going to reach and take Isla Mayor or back. I think Jihad Campbell's going to end up playing great on that team, and it's going to shore up that defense for a long time.
All right. Yeah, great grades from Jihad Campbell. So let's go ahead and lock into pick. And now we got the Kansas City Chiefs fell just short, and I'm glad I don't have to make the final pick of this round. I'll leave that for Dave. He's a big Eagles homer. So with the Chiefs, my wife, her family, they're all from Kansas. We were sad, but they were getting destroyed. They were getting destroyed on the O-line, destroyed. And they couldn't stop that. They did stop Barkley, but they just couldn't stop the offense overall. I'm still going to lean into just getting a tackle while I can. The hit rate and some of the, after the first round type tackles, it's just lower. So I'm gonna go Ariante Ursary here. Just get me a guy. I don't care if it looks like a reach here. Get some help up front for the Chiefs. They need anything they can get.
Bro, I was hoping he slid to my pick at 35. Legitimately was hoping that he slid to my pick at 35. That makes me upset. Great pick.
All right, so finish it off for us, Dave, in the first round.
As you know, with the rival pick, like I mentioned earlier, who is the player you most don't want the Eagles to pick? And I think it's glaringly obvious. You can't let a guy like Derek Harmon slide this far, even if it's not a exact need for them right now. They always have.
But it is, though. It is, because they're losing Milton Williams, remember?
Well, they are, and I'm just going by the CPS board, so you may be exactly right. I'm going by team needs listed as edge, linebacker, wide receiver, and guard. I shirk all of those, and I say you can't let Derek Harmon get past you, and they never do. So I know the Eagles' MO right here is to take a big defensive player like this. Derek Harmon would fill in right for these guys who have transitioned out of the Eagles roster the past couple of years that have kept him incredibly stout on that front defensive line. I thought about taking another offensive lineman here for them because, again, that fits their identity, and you can never really have too many good offensive linemen if that's your identity. But Derek Harmon makes too much sense.
Yeah.
He pissed off too many Cowboys fans, and that's how I know it's a good pick.
Oh, yeah, man. So let's get into the second round. We're going to go a lot faster this time, but we want to give you guys a full, nice, thought-out first round. So Cam Ward went to the Browns in round 1. Now, Chev, do you want to still stick with the Titans and just forego this pick? Let Addy have this one?
Yeah, you can have it.
All right. You're on the clock then.
All right. Well, they got Cam Ward. Myles Garrett's still a concern. Stewart's been absolutely plummeting this draft. I think we make it easy. Get the best player available and shore up that defense a little bit.
Boom. Let's lock it in. All right, Giants, I'll rock with them for this pick. And Giants, we also got a quarterback in the last round here. They, not we. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna just give Shadur Sanders. No. I'm gonna give him some tackle help. I'm gonna just take someone to help protect him. Almost went with someone on offense, but I know Cam Williams is dropping a little bit. I think I'm gonna go with Donovan Jackson for these guys. So y'all can have that. Thank me
I
later.
love Donovan Jackson, man. He's great.
All right, Chev, with the Chev Titans. How y'all feeling?
Oh, man, I feel great because there's a guy on the board that's a little bit further down the board that nobody's mentioned yet. That makes me super excited. Yeah, stop right there. Jack Sawyer, edge, Ohio State. You knew what I was gonna do.
Yeah,
you knew what I was doing. I was like nobody.
Oof.
I was hoping that Addy would go ahead and pick somebody else, not Shamar Stewart, because I love Shamar Stewart. But when he did that, I was like, that's fine. I've got a backup plan. I got my Batman contingency plans going on. Give me Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, I think Dave and I just avoid this guy out of spite for what he did to Texas.
That's fair.
All right. Yeah, he single-handedly dropped Quinn Ewers' draft stock to the third round. All right, so what you got for us, Dave?
All right, Chev. I hope your contingency plan includes kryptonite bullets. That's what I always got to include. But anyway, I'm gonna go with my boy in the hot unis. Give me Trey Amos from Ole Miss here. They have a team need at corner. I think his draft stock has been rising the past few weeks, so that cued me in on him took a look. This guy is great. I think he's a great prospect for them to take here. I don't want to drag it on here, but that's my pick. I thought about Ravel, but I'm gonna let the medical come out on him, and I'll take Trey first.
Are you gonna tell him, Alex?
That's funny. Yeah. Trey Amos was a little banged up at the end of the Senior Bowl, but it's been a few weeks now. He'll be fine.
It's
it was
fine.
Just,
What, has he got a stanky leg?
yeah. Just banged
Does he have
up
is it an RG knee?
Yeah, it's a trick. It's a trick knee.
All right, well, I'll take him or Ravel, whichever's healthy.
It's too late. You're sorry.
No,
Jax.
that's a
Jax.
rotating pick. It's a rotating pick.
All right, so the Raiders. So we'll flip this back to Chev so Addy can get to the Zubair picks later. So Chev, who you got here for the Raiders?
So Addy, you took Tet right there, right?
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with let's go over to the linebackers real quick. Yeah, do linebackers and do edge. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and get Mr. Kyle Kennard off the board here.
All right. Yeah, he's made it in every one of our mocks. So rightfully so.
Just
the Raiders.
Just tough as nails. Like this is a guy that, Pete Carroll has a knack for getting these like somewhat undersized pass rushers. You've seen it with Cliff Averill. You've seen it. You've seen it with, Michael Bennett's not necessarily undersized. He just wore really tiny pads. But you've seen him turn these guys into, just sub all pro, like maybe make a couple Pro Bowls, but perennial like 10 sack guys. And that's what I see for a guy like Kyle Kennard. Like him being opposite Max Crosby is going to benefit him in a way that just is like, man, how good is Kyle Kennard? And this is a guy that just absolutely worked Will Campbell. Like Dylan Stewart, 18 years old, couldn't do anything with Will Campbell. They put Kyle Kennard over there, and it was like a clash of the Titans. So I'm really high on him. I'm interested to see how he tested the combine because I think he could rise up a lot if you combine his film with confirmed athleticism.
Man, we haven't touched on the combine too much. Chev and I just did a show about biggest risers that are potential, who has the most to gain in the combine. That was a more offensive focused, but with some of your next picks, guys, let me know. I love that point Chev made. So if you think anyone else has a lot to gain, still some room to rise up these boards, kind of weave that into your reason why you took this pick. And Dave, you had the Patriots in round 1. You took a steal in Abdul Carter. What are they going to do here at pick 38?
All right, I'm going to see what their needs are again. I know. Okay, so this one's easy for me. I'll take Membo. Right. They got needs on the offensive line, and this is the guy that can step in and play day one. The players that you can say that for, there might still be a few on the board, but they will be gone very soon. And I think you're going to get that Missouri kid, right?
I think I got Membo.
Did you?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Okay. Can you give me tackles and guards real quick?
He got him to the Rams at 26. All right.
Yeah.
Give me tackle and guard. I'm going to take.
Oh, sorry. The commissioner is calling and saying you just forfeited your pick by picking someone else already taken off the board.
Hey, wait.
We took your pick for basketball reasons.
I can take Mbow from Purdue is very similar in name, but I'll go ahead and take. I'm going to take Cam Williams. I'm going to stick this for a Longhorns draft. I'm going to give these guys some more love from Texas. The big body here, a guy with a lot of experience. If you're looking for guys who can play day one, one of the best traits they can have is having a lot of experience. That's kind of the thing that's hard to give these guys. So if a guy comes in like that and he's sitting on the board there and you need on the offensive line, I feel like this is an easy pick. You take Abdul Carter first. You take another guy. I love drafts where you take trenches, whether it's OLDL, DLOL. I think that's a great spot in this draft. So this year, any team that does that is going to come out with better trenches on both sides if you go that first round, second round. So I think that's a great formula for these guys.
Yeah, right. I mean, if you're not in a position to compete, you just build out your trenches. And then in 2 years, you're beating everybody up front, and you add in a skill guy that's got all day to to run double moves and stuff, and then profit.
100%.
And Addy, you're gonna get 2 picks here in the second round with the Bears. So I'm gonna, if you sound like you watched one of our episodes, but make sure you save your, do your good pick first so you don't get sniped by these Saints here.
Yeah.
Like I did last time I was mocking for the Bears.
I'm trying to think who I want here for
Kelvin Banks Jr. round 1.
Yeah, I hate to go with boring point, picks for my Bears fans here, but we got to stay in the trenches. Like, I think we go to Talik Williams here because you need a big guy inside. The Bears D line got absolutely eviscerated at times last season. Montez Sweat was the only player with any level of consistency, and Walker got pushed back on every single play. I think you got to put him in there and give us some run defense to help keep Caleb on the field.
All right, I like it. And then, so don't go too far. Keep that trigger finger ready. I will rock with the Saints here, and I will go just to see who they got in the first round. So it's defense. I don't know. I don't know if Kellen Moore can hold off on not getting another offensive guy. So, man, they're going to have to do something there. I think I'm going to go Colson Loveland here. I'm going to get these guys a weapon for Kellen Moore. You got to replace, we just posted on one of our socials, Taysom Hill might be a cut candidate. We know he's really, one of the oldest players in the NFL, around 35 and coming off a major injury. So another guy who could step right in and be that go-to guy alongside Chris Olave.
Love that.
Okay. So who's next? Let's see. All right. Yeah. Hopefully you stayed ready. Bears back on the clock.
All right. Who we got available at guard here? So if I'm actually the Bears in real life, I'd be trying to trade back a little bit. I think you can get some of these guys a little bit later, but they definitely need some interior line help. Tavon Jenkins is probably out the door. I'm inclined to go McLaughlin here because I don't know if you guys, I hope you guys weren't watching the Bears. It was a rough part of every Sunday for me, but the snaps for the Bears were some of the worst I've ever seen. We looked like a high school team. The ball was over our head 20% of the time. So get a proper center in there, give Caleb another protection piece on the line.
Yeah, and especially with that second round pick, that's kind of smart to just use that to fill a spot that you're not going to be able to get with your later picks. I don't know y'all's full draft situation, so go ahead and lock that up. Cool. You've already hit on all your needs for the Bears for the most part, like the true needs. Okay, so the Jets, round one took Will Campbell, and I think that was me actually at the time. But let's get this one to Chev. I took Niners the last round, so I'll just go Niners again. But Chev, you take these Jets here.
Oh, Jets here, man. I don't think that we can pass on the opportunity to take a guy like Darius Alexander here. I got to go BPA, and I got to go Darius Alexander. You know Darius Alexander. You've watched the film on him. 6'4", 304 pounds. You're super athletic. I'm interested to see what his 10-yard split is because he looks so explosive on film. He reminds me a lot of a former Jet in Leonard Williams. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Darius Alexander to pair with Quinnen Williams here.
All right, let's lock it in.
And what was our first round pick there was a tackle, right?
Let's go to the New York Jets. Yep, Will Campbell.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Him rebuilding the Jets in the Lions image.
Let's do it. All right, and no worries, Dave. All right, let's keep rolling. We'll go with the Niners here. Niners round one. Let's go back to San Fran, and they took a tackle to protect. Go ahead.
You want me to get this one, or
no? I'm gonna do this, and you can go Cowboys.
Right, fair enough.
No, I like that. I like that. Let me get a Cowboys pick in here. So you do the Niners this time.
All right. So if corner's a need here, Ravel's got to be the pick. I think this guy's got all the tools in the world to be a great corner. His injury, we're going to see how that checks out. That was my hedge on the last pick I did. But I think as this guy falls, this guy is a first-round talent, and I think the 49ers can use a re-up in the secondary, especially according to their needs. They might lose Travarius Ward. They might lose Yadam. They have a lot of guys leaving their team this year to free agency. Maybe they get re-signed, but if they don't, I can see them picking a guy like Ravel.
Boom. All right. And then now I'm up the other third of the Cowboys Uncovered. And we took Genty round one, no doubt. I want to look at the O-line first. And, didn't mean to do that. So we'll see. What can we do to kind of help Genty be successful? I mean, anything's going to be an upgrade over a Boise State offensive line. But we also have Dak Prescott coming off of injury. So I want to make sure we're doing something to help these guys out. I think I'll go Wyatt Milam here out of West Virginia. 89 run block grade, 92 pass block grade. Just get us a 6'6" guy that can, block some lanes and give Dak a little bit of time here. So Maya Weiland for the Dallas Cowboys in round 2 after getting Nash Ginty. Feeling good about the run game with the run first-minded coaching staff that we brought in this offseason. And the Colts, Addy, you took them last time. You took the tight end 1 and Tyler Warren. What are you going to do here at 45, Colt 45?
Yeah, I'm inclined to go DB here because the Colts secondary got burned constantly last year, and Benjamin Morrison is a real nice pick. We're getting him a little bit lower than ADP. He obviously didn't play the whole season, but you saw a great coverage grade there, and that Notre Dame defense is pretty known for putting out some excellent defensive back prospects. So let's get him in the Colts uniform.
Yeah, and it was just preseason that he was a top 10, top 12 ranked player.
Yeah.
So it's really just the injury that's dropped him. So you're getting a good player here at pick
Colts
45.
love picking an injured guy too.
Yeah. All right. So the Falcons, even though I took them round 1, took Mike Green. Let's have Chev's back. Let's have Chev. How about you take these Falcons here?
Oh yeah, man. This is pretty easy for me. We're gonna stop the slide. We're gonna stop the slide for Illick, AO Technology. We're gonna go ahead and put him. So Darnell Mooney was great as an outside receiver down the field this year. I think that he could go into the Ray McLeod role, and then AO Technology, Illick, AO Manor, and Drake London manning the outside receivers. So yeah, I'm gonna take a weapon here for Captain Durag, Michael Penix.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, invest in that future. Have them grow with them. All right. So the Arizona Cardinals on the clock, and all right. So let's get Dave. How you feeling with these Cardinals here? Round 1, they took James Pierce Jr. Everyone's guy, your guy. But what do? They address offense here. What do they do with this next pick?
Let's see. So they've got a bunch of needs. They also have a lot of cap space, so I'm not really sure what they'll be able to do. It's projected over 70 million in cap space. Who did I take again for them first? I'm sorry.
So it was James Pierce Jr. and that was their number 1 need, and now it's followed by wide receiver, defensive tackle, offensive tackle, guard, linebacker, according to reports.
I've seen this guy mocked kind of up and down, but I'm gonna make another jump here. No, I'm not. I'm gonna stick with TJ Sanders. I don't know a whole lot about TJ Sanders. I've watched some other defensive tackles, but I've consistently seen TJ Sanders mocked ahead of some of the guys that I've already seen. A big guy in the middle is never a bad pick, especially in this draft. It's supposed to be incredibly defensive tackle heavy. I don't really think that means you got to wait on one if you need one. If you need one, I think that means you go ahead and take one of these top guys because it might not be a crop like this next year. So that's just a philosophy approach I had for this pick, and I think it'll work out for them. Defensive line of the future now. To support your point, there's 41 defensive tackles that have been invited to the combine this year, as opposed to like 24 last year.
Oh God.
Yeah, and does that mean you want to pick the 20th one? I don't know, but does that mean that the top 10 are really, really good? In my opinion, I've seen that being kind of the proof in the pudding, and you want to get some of these guys here at the top. If you don't need a starter, maybe you can wait a little bit, but we just took another starter. I think there's starters all through the first 120 picks or so.
100%,
if you pick right, and for the right spot, and that's I'll take TJ Sanders.
Sweet. And with the Miami Dolphins here, last round, Malachi Stark, safety. The order's all over the place. I think who wants this pick?
I'll take it.
All right. I think you took Starks for them in the last round. So how you feeling about this one?
I think that one of the things that we can do here is continue. So they've dealt with some injuries with Bradley Chubb and with Jalen Phillips getting injured again. So one of the things I think they want to do is start to rebuild that youth and dominant force on the edge. They got Chop Robinson last year, so I think they're going to go with JT Tuimoloau.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Yeah. So JT Tuimoloau, defensive end from Ohio State. I like both of these guys. I think that he's a rare type of playmaker. He doesn't just rush the passer well. He gets his hands up. He's able to bat balls. He's around the football when it's loose on the ground. I believe he had a fumble return for a touchdown and an interception return for a touchdown in his career. So I think that they're going to get these guys that are less heralded in a deep class and start to rebuild this team the right way instead of just being speed, Let's get some beef. Let's get some guys, substantive guys that can contribute at key positions in the trenches.
All right, and I'll go ahead and take the Bengals here. Last round, they took Kenneth Grant, and I'm just gonna stick with defense. I like Izuriku. I was just cutting up some Rashard Smith. Watched that Boston College game. Saw him actually get injured in that game. Izuriku did, but he was fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and take him here. He's top of mind for me. And I don't think you just go away from defense after you get one guy and think, oh, it's fixed. No, it's not fine, Bengals. You need to get some more defense to pour into it. This guy's got a 90 pass rush grade, 83 run defense grade. So I've seen him go up against some decent competition, some good players at least. You've got Amari Hampton, Rashad Smith that I mentioned at SMU in that game before that. He's gone to get some guys where we got to see him play against real talent. Mimbu is one of the guys he faced up against on the line. So we'll go with Donovan Izuriku here for the Bengals. And last round, Addy, you had taken Josh, or sorry, let me go ahead and get, you took Josh Conley for the Seahawks. Yeah. So you got this round.
I really like South Carolina's defense. They were top 20 in the nation. They played great. The linebacker core for Seattle is pretty weak, and this is about the time that you could see them going up and taking a guy like Knight Jr. So I'm taking the top guy on the board. Give me Knight.
Yeah, make it easy on us. I like it. I had taken the Bucks last time, but Dave, you want to take this one?
Sure. Let me see.
The last round, they took Walter Nolan. I took him for them.
All right, cool. So maybe we get a wide receiver that's fallen here. I think you can't go wrong with Jack.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Jack Besh. This guy showed out at the Senior Bowl. Obviously, he's got an incredible story coming out of a horrible tragedy that his family faced from New Orleans. But outside of that, you got a really – I did a little thought experiment. I thought the TCU offensive coordinator must have exploded in his lower regions thinking about what he was doing with his wide receiver group that he had. He had Jack Besh, he had Savion Williams. And I just imagine that my first thought was after watching Savion Williams, oh, okay, listen, quarterback, grab him by the face mask, say, hey, just pass it to Savion. And I did Jack Besh a little later in the season. I said, God, McGinn say, hey, also pass it to Jack Besh. So yeah. I think he had an amazing kind of a glut of great X receivers that he can put out there. I think if his team's looking for an X receiver, you get a nice tall target with great hands of Jack Besh, who's shown he can play in these clutch situations and show out in a Senior Bowl setting. Got to take Jack Besh.
Love those late breakout guys that also show up in the Senior Bowl.
For sure.
Absolutely. Chev, Broncos here. What they got on the board for us? And just so you know, last round, Emeka Buka. So wide receivers covered. What do they do here?
Oh, go to running back.
Oh,
you know where I'm going.
All right, so we're going Caleb Johnson.
You know it, baby. You know it.
All right, RB1 of the future for the Denver Broncos. Caleb Johnson, 86 rushing grade, and decent amount of receptions. 20 is like kind of my minimum. I want to see 30, honestly, but so he's not crushing there. But we like Caleb Johnson. We think he's going to be a lead running back for a team.
So here's the thing. I started off, and I've said this, and I've told this story now several times. I was not in any way, shape, or form a Caleb Johnson fan. I was just like, this is just Jordan Mason in an Iowa uniform. But then when I got into the film, I saw so much more. I mean, at first I thought he was just like a guy that could just bang between the tackles and spring one. And then, he's cribbing stuff from like 70 yards. I mean, there's a touchdown against Iowa where he catches it's a swing pass. It's a hands catch. He makes two guys miss and then outruns everybody in the end zone. So I think he's got tremendous long speed. If you go to his wiki page, I don't know how true this is. I haven't had a chance to bet it yet, but each season, like his freshman season, his top speed was 21.5 miles per hour. And both of his top speeds in 2023 and 2024 topped over 22 miles an hour. And that's at 225 pounds. So I think that this guy could be just an ultimate factor back at the next level. I comped him. Initially, I did not like him, as I said, but I ended up seeing shades of like Todd Gurley at Georgia and Arian Foster as comps for him. So, yeah, give me Caleb Johnson.
Locked it in. So
love Caleb Johnson, man. He's going to be great. I think he's my number 2 running back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Addy vehemently disagrees with us, by the way, Dave.
I do.
Well, Addy, you've got the Steelers here, but any other final thoughts on Caleb Johnson?
Well,
Carrying.
if you put him in the right system, you put him behind his own blocking scheme, yeah, he might look good. But I think that the Broncos are going to do the same thing to him that they did to Javonte Williams and absolutely tank his value long term. Sorry, my dog and cat are
no problem
fighting on the desk. Love that.
We've seen that be true with Javonte Williams, the guy who's had like a 15 catch game, like a guy who clearly has some talent, but just they can't feature the guys properly. They've done well with guys that are more bursty and have speed, and it can just kind of create on their own. But I like Caleb Johnson's ability to break away from tackles or break through tackles. But he's in the NFL. We have to see if he can still repeat that. If he's not going to have the top end speed of some of these other guys, I think he will.
22 miles an hour. What else do you want from a guy who's 225?
I love it. I'm in. All right, Steelers. What you got for us?
Well, we're going back to running back here. I think we're going to take what should have been the Broncos pick at Judkins here.
Ooh, okay.
Replace Najee.
Yeah, Najee Harris is not returning. They do need a running back. So I love the pick. You go double offense there. Matthew Golden, they're super desperate at receiver for the Steelers. And then you get a running back to fit in there as well. I like those picks. And they'll be back in the playoffs again. I would bet some money on that. Okay, Chargers. They took a running back in the first round, Amari Hampton. And I will take the Chargers here. I'll go Xavier Watts. And let me just double check. We got some LA Chargers. These guys. I think I'll lean into their. I'm going to lean in. What's up?
They're going to cut Joey Bosa.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I'm about to switch to edge. I'm going to go Princely U for these guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
I
just realized that was more. Go ahead.
Don't even try to. I would butcher that in a way in which is disrespectful.
No, I stopped. I actually had to cut it out of the last episode. I didn't even. I was like, what am I saying right now? All right, so the Green Bay Packers, Dave, another NFC rival that just is always in our way.
We're huge Packers fans here.
Yeah.
No, okay, so they've got a number of needs. I'm not going to be
Luther Burden.
I'm not going to be kind to them. I guess maybe I'll be fair. I'll be fair though, right? So let's give them Landon Jackson. He's our top remaining edge. I have not done a lot of. Can you give me first look on Landon Jackson? I haven't done a lot of looking at his tape.
6'7", 280.
Holy crap! This is a big. You know what?
So he'll be blocking and batting some passes down.
If I was maybe a Bears fan and I saw the Packers get a 6'7", 280-pound edge, I'd be like, don't like that exactly. So for that reason, I'm taking Landon Jackson.
Sorry, Addy. Get wrecked.
Big old dude.
All right, so we're back at the top of the clock with Chev. Okay, Bills. They made this trade with the Minnesota team, and all right, we're gonna fly through this. We're gonna absolutely fly through these final picks. Just give us the picks, no explanations.
Omar Norman Lott.
All right, locked it in for Tennessee, and I am gonna go. Or no, Addy, you make this pick.
Who we got at receiver here still available?
So you still got some of the usual suspects: Xavier Restrepo, Higgins, Jaden Higgins, and then Jalen Royals.
Give me Isaiah Bond. I think he comes in with big 40 time and ends up flying up draft boards.
Yeah, you had called him out by name earlier. I could tell, and that's a dropper who's now got a chance to rise after the combine. So Panthers, I will take. No, I want the Ravens. So go ahead, Dave. Take the Panthers here. You're on mute.
What was their first pick again?
So the Panthers got Jahdae Barron. That was your pick, I believe.
All right. Well, let's double up on UT love and give them Alfred Collins. They've got needed edge, but I think Alfred Collins can help free up an edge.
All right, back-to-back UT players off the board, and back-to-back UT players go to the Carolina Panthers. And for me at the Ravens spot, I'm just gonna go. I'll take Xavier Watts here. Just go, get this guy on the team. And the Lions, Chev. This is the final 5 picks here. Who you got?
Yeah, give me an edge right here.
Ivy, we've got Josiah Stewart.
Yeah, give me Ivy here.
Okay. And then so Addy, this will be your final pick of the draft. Who you got for us?
Who'd you go with? Ivy there? We still
Yeah,
have
and it
Josiah
took
Stewart
Jalen
on the
Walker.
board.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Josiah Stewart. They got to shore up that defense.
All right. And final 3 picks here, guys. We got the Bills, Chiefs, and Eagles. And appreciate you jumping on the show, Addy. It's been awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. All right, man. We'll catch you in the next one, and we'll finish out these final 3 picks. So whoever just took the Bills, go ahead and make this pick. That was Chev. So
that was me. My bad.
It's all
Yeah.
good.
They had 2 picks in the second round.
Hey, scramble drill. We're going off script here.
We're going off script. We got to have a guy who can play off script here. Yeah, give me Xavier Restrepo.
Boom. Great pick. Okay, I took the Chiefs last time. Let's switch on this one, Dave.
All right, cool. You take the Sheagles. I'll go with Shamar Turner here. I almost reached for this guy earlier. I think he's another good prospect.
Great, and I will end it. And I almost just click scab just to troll. But hey, congrats you guys for winning. Let's go ahead and just
Still some great players on the board, dude.
Yeah, there really are. You can't really go wrong here. So Philadelphia Eagles, just double check round 1. Derek Harmon, they took BPA there, and linebackers a need. Guard is a need. I'll just take Schlesinger.
I think it's a good pick.
He almost didn't make it, and we've taken him every draft so far. So another steal at the end of the round for the Eagles here.
Yep.
90 pass rush grade. So that's the end of our mock draft, and we appreciate you guys jumping in here, checking this out with us. I'll give you a quick look. I'm not going to rattle off all the names, but you guys can see here the first round. And really quickly, if you guys want to join NFL Uncovered and represent one of your teams, here's the list of squads that still need someone to represent for them. And yeah, we'd be happy to have you guys. We are doing mock drafts and individual team breakdowns of everything that might go on with the team. So again, here's a look at the draft board. But we know how this thing is starting. It's Travis Hunter, no matter what. All right. So don't be surprised on draft night when Travis Hunter's the first name called for the Tennessee Titans. Any other closing thoughts, fellas?
I just want to say one real quick. Obviously, it was fun doing this. I am a little chatty, so sometimes I can balloon the length of that show. But just give me a time frame. I'll stick to it if you want to have me back on. I'm certainly glad to do it. Had a lot of fun. Also, been keeping my eye on my work emails.
I've been doing it, brother. I've been doing the same thing. That's why I had to go off camera. I was like, I had to log back in. So yeah.
I'm like, damn it, Bridget, shut the hell up. I got all this shit going on right now.
All right, y'all. Well, go ahead and follow me at Dynasty F Key. You can follow Dave at Cowboys Fan, David, Chev at Chev90. We're on Uncover_NFL on X and on YouTube. Go like and subscribe. Appreciate everybody. And what's Addy's ats and all of that, Chev? You got that?
Yeah, at league.champ on social media. Well, excuse me, on TikTok, and then at league-champ on league-champ on Twitter, I believe.
All right, I love it. Well, hey, take it easy, everybody, and we'll see you after the combine. Peace.
All right.